Hello friends, thank you for taking this time to hear from God's word. For today's word, we will look from John chapter 4, verse 46 onwards, where we see Jesus is healing an official's son. So let's read verse 47. It says, "When this man heard," that is, a royal official, heard that Jesus had arrived in Galilee from Judea, he went to him and begged him to come and heal his son, who was close to death. We see here this royal official, the moment he came to know that Jesus is in a certain location, he goes there. He realizes that he can approach Jesus. He went ahead and explained, put forth his need to Jesus. He sought Jesus with his need, and that gave him his breakthrough. That made his son alive, healed. Now, if this man wouldn't have sought Jesus, don't know, maybe what would have happened. But because this man sought Jesus with his need, Jesus gave him what he needed. So what I want to ask you all today is, are we seeking enough for our breakthroughs? Are you seeking enough to get past your struggles? Or have we become so comfortable living with our struggles that we don't, feel the need for a breakthrough? This man, this royal official sought Jesus. That led him to a breakthrough in his son's life. So in our lives, what are the struggle points, struggle areas in our lives that needs Jesus' attention? Is it our time with God? Many times we are struggling on each day to day, we are struggling to even, sit for little time to be in God's presence, to have that relationship with Him, to have that time with Him. It becomes a struggle to even find that time to sit in God's presence. So is it that having time with God your struggle that needs Jesus' attention? Or is it your dealing with your spouse, dealing with your child, your children that needs help? Or is it that you have become comfortable in living in frustration with your spouse and with your children? Yeah? Or is it that your work, your responsibilities that needs help? Or is it your health, your emotional health, your physical health that needs Jesus' attention, that needs Jesus' attention, that needs Jesus' strength? So what are the struggle points in your life? Take it to Jesus. You need to realize what are the areas that you are struggling, not continuing to live in those struggles thinking that this is how it is. I have compromised. I have learned to live with my struggles. No, Jesus came to give life and life in abundance. He is the giver of life. So take to Jesus your struggle points. Understand what are your struggle points. Take it to Jesus and He will definitely help you. Just as this royal official realized that he can approach Jesus, and he went ahead and poured out his heart to Jesus and said, I want my son to be alive. In the same way, when we realize what is that which is a struggle to me, which is affecting me, when we take that to Jesus, He will definitely help you. And then that problem, that struggle will no longer be yours, your struggle. So that's the first thing. Understand your struggles. Take it to Jesus until it's no longer your struggle. And as we read this verse, this man is coming to Jesus. He is begging Jesus to come to him, and so that Jesus will come with him and lay his hand on his son, and his son will be alive. So with that understanding, this man is coming that Jesus needs to come physically and attend to his son, and then his son will be healed. But what Jesus does here, Jesus does not move according to this man's understanding, right? Jesus is not moving according to this man's understanding. Instead, Jesus is doing something very different. He's doing completely different. He is not going with this man. Instead, he is telling this man to go alone. In verse 50, Jesus is telling, go, your son will live. That's all. Jesus didn't go with this man. He just spoke a word, and he expected this royal official to go back on his journey back. Wow. So powerful. So amazing it is, right? Now, for this man, it wouldn't have been easy, because he came to Jesus with this understanding that Jesus will come with me and my son will be alive. But here Jesus is telling, go, your son will live. I am not coming with you. You are going alone, and you will find your son is alive. It wouldn't have been easy for this man to just take that word from Jesus and go back. But we see here, the man took Jesus at his word and departed. Wow. So similarly in our lives too, there are times when it might not be easy for us to take his word, plainly just believe in his word. But yet when we do that, he is a faithful God. He is faithful to his words. He is not a liar. He is a faithful God. And another thing is, what might look like a giant to us is actually a grasshopper in God's sight. This man came with an understanding that Jesus needs to come with him physically, and then his son will be alive. But here Jesus is showing, no, that's not enough. My one word is enough for your son to be healed. Wow. So in our lives also, what is that which is looking like a giant in front of you? Can you look at it from God's perspective? Yes, it is a giant in my perspective, but not in God's perspective. Because he is a victorious God. He is an all-powerful God, and with him we can be victorious. So two things that we learn from this passage today is, search within yourself what are your struggle areas and take it to Jesus. He will help you. He will help you to come out of your struggles and not live in it all your life. And second is, take God's word as the ultimate word spoken over your life. For he is a faithful God. Even when it seems difficult to believe on his word, when we do so, he will do wonders. He will bring your breakthroughs the way you wouldn't have imagined or thought or perceived. So trust and believe in God, for he is a faithful God. God bless you with this word, and stay tuned with Lub Dub Attune.